Seneca, Letters from a Stoic. We're going to be doing 2 of the letters because it's a very big book. But if you guys like it, I'll carry on reading. Letter 1. Judging from what you tell me and from what I hear, I feel that you show great promise. You do not tear from place to place and unsettle yourself with one move after another. Restlessness of that sort is symptomatic of a sick mind. Nothing, to my way of thinking, is a better proof of a well-ordered mind than a man's ability to stop just where he is and pass some time in his own company. Be careful, however. There is no element of discursiveness and desultoriousness about this reading you refer to, this reading of many different authors and books of every description. You should be extending your stay among writers whose genius is unquestionable, deriving constant nourishment from them if you wish to gain anything from your reading that will find a lasting place in your mind. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. People who spend their whole life travelling abroad and end up have plenty of places where they can find hospitality but no real friendship. The same must needs be the case with people who never set about acquiring an intimate acquaintanceship with any one great writer, but skip from one to another, paying flying visits to them all. Food that is vomited up as soon as it is eaten is not assimilated into the body and does not do one any good. Nothing hinders a cure so much as frequent changes of treatment. A wound will not heal over if it is being made the subject of experiments with different ointments. A plant which is frequently moved never grows strong. Nothing is useful. Nothing is so useful that it can be of any service in the mere passing. A multitude of books only gets in one's way. So if you are unable to read all the books in your possession, you have enough when you have all the books you are able to read. And if you say, but I feel like opening a different book at different times, my answer will be this. Tasting one dish after another is a sign of a fussy stomach. Where the foods are dissimilar and diverse in the range, they lead to contamination of the system, not nutrition. So always read well-tried authors, and if at any moment you find yourself wanting a change from a particular author, go back to ones you've read before. Each day too, acquire something which will help you to face poverty, or death, or other ills as well. After running over a lot of different thoughts, pick out one to be digested thoroughly that day. This is what I do myself. Out of the many bits I've been reading, I lay hold of one. My thought for today is something which I find epicurous. Yes, I actually make a practice of going over to the enemy's camp by way of reconnaissance, not as a deserter. A cheerful poverty, he says, is an honourable state. But if it is cheerful, it is not poverty at all. It is not the man who has too little who is poor, but the man who hankers after more. What difference does it make to make how much there is laid away in a man's safe or in his barns? How many head of stock he grazes, or how much capital he puts out at interest, if he is always after what is another's and only counts what he has yet to get, never what he has already. You ask, what is the proper limit to a person's wealth? First, having what is essential, and second, having what is enough. Letter 2. You have sent me a letter by the hand of a friend of yours, as you call him, and in the sentence you warn me to avoid discussing your affairs freely with him, since you are not even the habit of doing so yourself. In other words, you have described him as being a friend, and then denied this in one and the same letter. Now, if you were using the word in a kind of popular sense and not according to its strict meaning, and calling him a friend in much the same way as we refer to candidates as gentlemen, or hail someone with a greeting, my dear fellow, if when we meet him his name slips our memory, we can let this pass. But if you are looking on anyone as a friend when you do not trust him as you trust yourself, you are making a grave mistake, and have failed to grasp sufficiently the full force of true friendship. Certainly, you should discuss everything with a friend, but before you do so, discuss in your mind the man himself. After friendship is formed, you must trust, but before that you must judge. Those people who, contrary to the forester's advice, judge a man after they have made him their friend instead of the other way round, certainly put the cart before the horse. Think for a long time whether or not you should admit a given person to your friendship. But when you have decided to do so, welcome him heart and soul and speak as unreservedly with him as you would with yourself. You should, I need hardly say, live in such a way that there is nothing which you cannot easily tell your enemy as keep to yourself. But seeing that certain matters do arise on which convention decrees silence, the things you should share with your friend are all your worries and deliberations. Regard him as a loyal, and you will make him loyal. Some men's fears of being deceived has taught people to deceive them. By their suspiciousness, they give them the right to do their wrong things by them. Why should I keep back anything when I'm with a friend? Why shouldn't I imagine I'm alone when I'm in his company? There are certain people who tell any person they meet things they should only be confided to friends, unburdening themselves or whatever is on their minds into an ear they please. Others gain a shy confiding in their closest friends and would never let themselves, if they could help it, into the secrets they keep deep hidden inside themselves. We should do neither. Trusting everyone is as much a fault as trusting no one, though I should call the first the worthier and the second the safer behaviour. Similarly, people who never relax and people who are invariably in a relaxed state merit your disapproval. The former as much as the latter, for a delight in bustling about is not industry. It is not only the restless energy of a hunted mind, and the state of a mind that looks on all activity as tiresome is not true repose, but a spineless inertia. This prompts me to memorize something which I came across in Pomponius. Some men have shrunk so far into dark corners that objects in bright daylight seem quite blurred to them. A balanced combination of the two attitudes is what we want. The active man should be able to take things easily, while the man who is inclined towards repose should be capable of action. Ask nature, she will tell you that she made both day and night. Well, that was both the letters. If you guys would like to get this book, it's Letters from a Stoic by Seneca, as I said in the beginning. If you would also like me to read some more, just comment down below. Thank you for watching.